The next practice will be using the pen tool. The pen tool is based on drawing anchor points and drawing out curves from those anchor points to create paths. So you used predefined vector paths and shapes in your last practice. This one you'll be drawing them by hand yourself. So we'll start off first with the pen tool here and drawing some simple shapes. I'll just grab a nice green color here and I'm going to draw in my vector shape. Now you're going to click on any corner or any point where the line or direction of the path is changing direction. So for this, it'd be the square corners. You'll notice that it is set to shape. I've got a fill color, and then on the right hand side, as I started to draw that, it made me a new layer, and it says shape, and I can see the vector path showing up, that little symbol that it's a shape vector. Go ahead and click on the next anchor point and the next anchor point. I'm not done yet. I haven't closed my shape yet. Yes, the color connects as I go to each anchor point and it looks like it's filled and it looks like it's done. However, I want to make sure that I draw in this last edge over here, this last part of the path. So I'm going to find that first anchor point and I'll see that there's a nice little circle next to my pen tool. That means I'm going to close the path. So I'm going to click to close that path, and now that shape is done. I can move on to the next one now. Select, and I could go to deselect layers, so that is no longer active, and move over to the next one. So now if I change my color, it's not going to change the color of that shape because it's not selected. I'm on a new one. Same thing. I'm going to click and start to click on my anchor points. Now I do find that it works a little better and a little more accurate if I stay zoomed in. So I'm going to move in just a touch here so I can make sure that my anchor points are more accurate to the example underneath, and click to start to fill. Now as I get over to this anchor point, the color is going to connect from the first anchor point to my existing one once I let go. And suddenly I can't see where I'm going anymore. So two options. You can either reduce your opacity, which I think is a okay option, but perhaps a better option is just to temporarily turn your fill to nothing. And go ahead and click there, and just like before, find that first anchor point, click to close my path, and then I can give my fill back to my shape. And there we go. I can go to select and deselect layers and move on down to the next one. Now the next one, actually I'm going to come back for just a second because there's something else I wanted to show here. So if I click, say I thought I was done, and I come back and I decide, you know what, I was a little bit off on a spot here. I can click on the thumbnail of that path and it will make my vector shape active. And then if I hold the control key, I can click on the edge of the path somewhere and it's going to show my anchor points again. Now I can hold the control key and click on an anchor point and hold it and drag it and move it. So that control key is basically a quick key function when I'm in the pen tool that puts me over to these selection tools, particularly the direct selection tool. So if it's not working or you're finding that it's tricky to remember that control key, you can also come over here and grab that direct select tool. With this, I want to click on the anchor point first. You'll notice now that anchor point is solid. The other ones are empty or hollow. That means that's an actively selected anchor point. So I can click on it, let go, click on it again, and I can drag and move that anchor point around to get it where I want to go. Okay, now we will jump to the next one. Deselect layers, and the space bar should work to move you around, but in this case my connection to Citrix is being a little bit glitchy, so instead I'll have to do the old-fashioned way and scroll. All right, so for our next one, it's trickier. It's an organic shape. There aren't just points along the path that are going to be corners. I actually have to start using the handlebars and drawing out what we call Bezier curves. So I'm going to give him a nice green color and pretend he's a little monster, maybe an amoeba maybe. And I like to start off somewhere in the middle of a curve. So we'll say right here, this is very reminiscent of a circle in this portion here. So I'm going to click right on top of that hill and hold and drag to the right. The right is the direction that I'm going to draw this entire shape. So I'm going to go clockwise. And I'm going to draw those handlebars out. Now, how far do you drag out? Well, you want to drag the handlebar out about a third of the length of that entire curve. So I'm looking from about this point here to about this point here where it starts to change direction. My handlebar should only take about a third of that. Now my next one, I'm going to go over where the line starts to shift and change direction. It's right about here. It's about the halfway point between the apex of this curve and this curve here. And click, and again I'm dragging to the right. Now I'm not crossing into the curve or out of the curve. I don't want to split my handlebars on either side. I'd like to keep my handlebars tangent to the curve. Something right about like that. So I'll notice then, once I let go here, that this handlebar took up a third of this curve. There's about a third gap between, and then about another third of a handlebar on this side over here. And so it's important not to let these handlebars touch, but let there be a space in between, and that's going to give you some nice smooth curves. All right, my line's changing direction again right about here. I'm going to click and drag. This time my handlebars are staying inside the curve because it's a concave curve. So we're transitioning that way. Whereas I come up over this way, I'm going to stay on top of the curve. Think of it like resting a ruler on a basketball. Those handlebars cannot cross into the basketball. It has to nest or sit right on top, tangent to that balance point. All right, and then right here in the middle, it's kind of flat, so I want to make sure that I'm telling it to sort of come back in this way, because these handlebars are always telling the next portion of the path which way to go. So it was going to pull it out a little bit too far if I went all the way just down to here and skipped this middle point. So I want to keep that in mind as I drag. All right, I'm going to click and drag and draw. Handlebar staying on top of the curve this time. I might do one more small one right here because it gets a little bit turning here. Right there. Again, a nice flat curve, so it's almost like drawing straight along that line in this case. Now, if at some point I go, you know what, I probably should have done another anchor point over here, I can Command Z to undo and go back and just draw in that extra set of handlebars and anchor point that I needed. Now again, if the color gets in the way, you can just change your fill to none. Now that's a little bit funky. I'm not liking that, so I can Command Z. I probably needed one more simple curve here, and you know what, my handlebar went a little bit too far. So if that's the case, you can grab the Convert Anchor Point tool. It's this kind of upside down V, and I can drag that handlebar and just pull that a little bit shorter. I had it in the right spot, I just dragged it a bit too far on that one. I can switch back to my pen tool and then continue on. Again, being mindful of not letting my anchor points and handlebars cross each other. I always want to close my path, and I can click to draw that curve to get it nice and smooth, and then give myself some fill again. Now, just like I did before, if I have to come back and edit anything, I can use the Control key to move an anchor point. Oops, Control click. Let me undo a second there. There we go. Control click, let go, then control and click and drag. So the first click is to select the anchor point. The second click is then to let you actually move that. Or I could come down if I'm on Citrix. If it's easier, just grab the direct select tool, click on my path to show my anchor points, and then I can click on an anchor point to move it. And I can also grab my Convert Anchor Point tool, which is hidden in the bottom of my pen tool drawer, and I can redraw handlebars if I need to. Now, don't twist the wrong way. You don't want to get any pretzel twists in your anchors and in your paths. So make sure you untwist if you drag the wrong way. That can create some really strange edges that you don't want. Okay, our last one then, we're going to scroll over and just take a look at drawing a shape that has curves and points. Now, yes, you can create the moon like this out of some of those predetermined shapes, but it might not always be perfect like a moon. It might be a feather that's more complex and then has some points and some curves mixed in. So we've simplified it to a moon for this practice, for the sake of practice here, but know that you might have some shapes that you have to draw by hand and you need to incorporate curves and points. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and select, deselect layers, make sure I'm off of all those selected ones. I'll give it a nice, let's go with a yellow color here for my moon. Okay, I'm going to click to draw my first anchor point. I'm going to go about 90 degrees of the curve, somewhere here in the middle, click, drag, and draw. I'm going to come over to my other point here, click and drag, and now if I turn off, actually I'll leave my fill on so you can see this better. You would probably turn your fill off at this point so you can see where you're going. I know it's probably right around here somewhere, so just for sake of demo, because I want you to see why this is the wrong way to do it. If I click and drag, you can see that this bent outward and sort of flattened and got funny here. That's not what I want it to do, because this handlebar, because I did a click and drag here, this handlebar got pulled out and it was telling this curve to come outward instead of being a simple point. So what I can do if I make this mistake, I can either correct it by changing and getting rid of this handlebar, or I could come back and undo this anchor point and draw it again in a different way. So I'm going to first show you how to correct it after you've already drawn it. So you can take, if you're on your own PC or a computer in the computer lab at school, not on Citrix, you should be able to take the Alt or Option key and you would Alt click and you would it's not working here for me because I'm on Citrix. You should be able to Alt click, on this anchor point here. So Alt click, and it will get rid of this handlebar if you were to do that. Again, if you're on a desktop version, not in Citrix. What that would do is it's going to get rid of that handlebar there. It'll break that curve and make it a point. Okay, so you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and Command Z though, and go back to here. Okay, so instead, I should have just clicked here and let go. I have no handlebars coming off of this. The only reason this is curving here is because this handlebar is telling it to do that. So now I have no handlebars or curves to worry about for this second part here. I can change my fill to nothing and then come up here and draw and click and drag. Now I can get the next part of my curve that I need. And then I can click to close it. Same thing, I can draw my curve. Now if it's not perfect, sorry, got some lag here from Citrix. Whoa, where is it going? It's going the opposite direction that I'm dragging. There we go. Okay, I could always come back again and use that direct select tool or the convert anchor point tool and make some adjustments here to fix that. I'll give it some fill really quick. Okay, and there we go. So you will go ahead and save this and then save also as a JPEG and turn that into your Teacher On Classroom.